So how can you study chemistry in Cambridge? Well, the Natural Sciences course is the framework through which we teach science in Cambridge, and chemistry is one of the courses that you can take using Natural Sciences as the course umbrella. In the first year, students take 4 subjects, 3 of them are experimental and 1 of them is maths. So one of your experimental subjects can be chemistry, and actually most of the students who take Natural Sciences in the university do take chemistry. So why should you study chemistry within Natural Sciences rather than just choosing chemistry as a single subject degree? And one of the main reasons is that you cover just as much chemistry through Natural Sciences as you would if you took a single degree course in chemistry. But also you get to study some other subjects along the way, and they might be things that you haven't taken before. So for example, in Cambridge, most of our first year students have never studied earth sciences or materials science, but they get to study or choose to study some of those subjects along the way if that fits with their interests. And that means that in the end, they're more experienced in different disciplines of science and have a broader background. I think it's also true to say that sometimes students change their mind, or often students change their mind. So you may come thinking you want to be a chemist or a physicist, and then through experiencing your subject at university level, as well as some other subjects, you might decide that actually your interests lie elsewhere. And that's completely fair enough to want to try these subjects at university before you make up your mind. The traditional subject boundaries in science are also more blurred, I think, than they've ever been. So having a really broad training as a scientist in different disciplines is really, really helpful for many careers as well as for further postgraduate study. So what's the structure of the course? Well, we teach for around 8 hours of contact time per subject in Natural Sciences. And in first year, you would have 8 hours of chemistry and then the same number of hours for your other subjects. So the topics in first year are wide-ranging. We cover spectroscopy, periodicity, bonding, some kinetics, some thermodynamics. There's something for everybody's interest. In the second year, if you're choosing to study chemistry as your specialist, you can take 2 chemistry courses. Chemistry A, that's the more mathematical, theoretical and physical chemistry, or Chemistry B, that's the more molecular, inorganic or organic chemistry. In second year, most students take both chemistry options if chemistry is their main interest, but not everyone does. You can take 1 chemistry option and 2 options from other subjects and still continue with chemistry in year 3. In year 3, if you choose chemistry, you'll be studying just chemistry, but you get to choose your courses and there are lots of options that suit different people's interests and expertise. And then some students stay on for a final year. In that 4th year, you undertake a research project in one of our labs and you get to do your own research for the first time, which most students find really rewarding and interesting. One question we get asked by prospective applicants is whether to apply for Natural Sciences Biological or Natural Sciences Physical. And you'll notice that there is no Natural Sciences Chemical, and that's because chemistry here is considered as a physical science. So there are 2 routes to application. And the one you pick is probably going to be based on the subjects you're interested in and the subjects you've studied at school. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter which one you pick. When you come to Cambridge, you'll be able to sit down with your academic advisor and choose the options for year 1 of study. And when you choose them, you're basing your choices on the subjects you're interested in and the subjects you've studied at school. So, for example, if you want to do chemistry in first year, you need to have done chemistry to A-level or equivalent standard. But for some of the biological courses in first year, you don't need to have done A-level biology. So you'll get help when you arrive in Cambridge with making those choices, but essentially it doesn't really matter whether you apply via the NSTB or NSTP route to your final destination when you come to Cambridge. I would suggest that when you choose your course option, you think carefully about what subject you'd like to be interviewed in. At Churchill, we do our best to pair the interviewers with students who have specialist interests that coincide. So for example, if you're really keen on studying chemistry, you should make that clear in your application so that we can make sure we give you a chemistry-focused interview.